Are you one of the people who dread getting up and down from the floor, and maybe you actually haven't done it in a long time? You maybe have a fear of falling and think, I won't be able to get up. You worry about your knees. Really, people at age 30, I see, worrying about their knees. Stop getting up and down to play with their dog, their children, clean the house effectively. All these things can really wear on you, and I have a way to teach you today for coming up and down from the floor, although we'll practice it in stages, that I think you'll find really handy because it won't hurt your knees, it won't hurt your low back. That's pretty cool. It's not the best for a person with osteoporosis though. So I am going to show you more ways to getting up and down in this series that will fit the person with osteoporosis. So just keep hanging out with us. By the way, you should subscribe to us because that way you won't miss any of the videos in this series. And you can look in the description and download a PDF handout that will give you the steps that we're going through. You can make notes on it for yourself so that it'll be easier for you to practice on your own without always having to look at the video. I'm Cynthia Allen. I'm a Feldenkrais practitioner and a senior trainer in movement intelligence and Bones for Life. And I'm super pleased to help you with getting up and down from the floor. We know that when a person's level of confidence starts to decrease around balance, it also means their balance is worse. We know that when people have a fear of falling, it's more likely that they will fall. So this is a really great way of coming up and down that can appropriately stimulate balance imbalance. It can stimulate good vestibular health if you're somebody who's used to feeling just a little bit woozy every time you move your head a little bit down. Be careful with it, but this can be one of the ways that you keep your vestibular health going. So do monitor yourself, stay safe, and don't do anything if you have not been getting up and down from the floor at all for a long time without someone being around to be with you. Okay? So let's get started. It's actually easier to teach people to get up from the floor first than it is to teach them to get down. So if you're somebody who has been getting on the floor, but you just don't like the way you do it, it doesn't feel great, you don't think it looks elegant, whatever you've got going on in your head or your sensation is fine. I'm going to show you how to get up first. And then we'll talk about how to get down. So I'm just going to go ahead and go down, and then we'll work on getting up. Now, if you're on the floor, I don't know how you got there. Maybe you fell, maybe you were gardening and you thought, oh, I'll just sit on my side here now. Oh, I don't know how to get back up. Maybe you got down on the floor to clean and you thought, oh gosh, I don't really know a good way of getting up. How am I going to get up? So this is definitely one way, and it's good to practice it regularly. Okay? So the first thing that we're going to do in this way is we're going to cross our legs loosely one way or the other. And it doesn't really matter how you cross them. We're actually going to have it fairly loose so the outside leg does not need to be in real tight. It can be a little bit away. And the inside leg does not need to be real tight either. So I'm showing you a less loose version in case you have some restriction in your knees or your hips. I can come here, but you don't have to be able to come there, okay? And then look to see which foot is closer to your pelvis. And if the knee that belongs to that foot is a sore knee for you, well then you might want to change it all over and go to the other way. You'll feel right away that you want to lean on one hand beside you. And that's great. You should lean on it. But the direction that the hand points is important. If it's forward or out to the side, it will inhibit you. It needs to be a little bit back and off. So let me see here. Make sure you got a good view of that. A little bit back and off, pointing at the diagonal away from you. The other hand, the free hand, will belong to the knee that is standing. This is super important. If you start trying to come up with your legs crossed With the opposite arrangement, you can really hurt yourself. So be sure that you're leaning on the hand that goes with the knee to the outside, behind the ankle, and that the free hand goes with the standing foot and knee. Look at it and begin to bring it across yourself and land it. Now, when you do that, you'll begin to feel like, oh, my weight shifts from one buttock to the other. And in fact, you'll probably even feel like the thigh starts to come to the ground. And you may think that what we're going to do is come up onto the knee. We are not going to let that knee ever touch the ground. Our goal is for neither knee to ever touch the ground with this particular spiral to stand from Bones for Life. How are we going to do that? So watch the hand, it comes around, it lands, and then I can distribute my weight now between two hands and this standing foot. And I can start to retract my pelvis around and spin on the balls of my feet. That's wild, huh? I'm just going to back that up so you can see it one more time. And I'll bring it all the way up this time, and then you can pause the video and try it on your own. Again, I'm looking at the hand that goes with the standing foot, the standing knee. I bring it around. I use a little momentum. I swing around on my feet. I can walk my hands back towards my feet, and I am up. And I want to show you that you can walk your hands back towards your feet. Very important, because some of us have larger bellies than others of us, and that means our hands may be further away from us. Also, just arm and leg length make a big difference. So it will look different to different people, but when you spin on the balls of those feet instead of ending up on your knees, it's like it saves your knees. It's so nice. It just takes the knees out of the picture. It's fantastic, really. Now, there's another hint I'd like to give you, which is as you come up or go down, you might feel, in fact, I'm almost going to guarantee you're going to feel that you're going to arch your neck and try to keep your eyes looking out on the horizon. This is a natural instinct. In this case, we want to try to override it because it's going to make your butt, which is for most of us a fair amount of weight, very light. It makes it much lighter. So you can experiment with that. What's the difference between arching my neck as I come up and down versus letting my head come up last, my neck staying pretty long. Okay, so let's try this coming up again. We'll be in the, I'll start showing you how to go down too now, and then we're going to go to a step stool position to make it easier for those of you who say, there's no way I can't do this right now. I'll give you some other ideas about how you can make this more doable for the stage that you are at, okay? So step position. And we are going to start to fold everything down. What does that mean? It means the ankles, the knees, the hips, every part of the spine. It's like almost like hanging. The head is draping down, 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 down. Everything is folding and unfolding at the same rate. Folding and unfolding at the same rate. Because what some people will want to do is go like this. Here, the knees and the ankles aren't folding. It's all the hips. And then their butt is so far away from the ground that when they go to put it on the ground, it's a long drop, a very long drop. We don't want that long drop, okay? So again, folding, folding. Soft chest. This soft chest is why we don't recommend this for people with osteoporosis. Soft chest. Sliding down, hands coming down, pelvis, knees, ankles. And when the pelvis won't go any further, you take the hand that belongs to that front foot and you put it across in front of the other foot. And you come in for this very soft airplane landing. You know how airplanes take off and they come in. And when it's a really great pilot, it's very, very soft. But helicopters are always a boom, right? They're a boom. We don't want any bumping around when we're talking about our fabulous pelvis coming to the ground, our hip joints or knees or whatever coming to the ground. We want them to come in for a very soft landing. Now we're in the same position. We can almost immediately reverse it. Look at the standing leg. Got the leg behind, the ankle, leaning on the hand, looking at the free arm. Really let the momentum of the free arm carry you around, and you are up. Again, try not to lift the head early. Keep the head down. As soon as you do this, now the butt gets heavy. It really does get heavy. As soon as I lighten it, I can come right on up. Ready to try it on a smaller surface. Maybe you want to try it on a sofa. Sofas are pretty low for some people to get up from. Or maybe you'd like to try it on a step stool like I have. Okay, I have a folding stool here, which I think will make practice of this much more doable for some of you. And they're pretty widely available. We'll have a link in the comments in case you need a link to one. Just be sure it's weighted for your weight. I like ones from construction companies because they tend to be a little larger, and they also tend to be rated for a little heavier person. I don't want those really tiny ones because they just don't feel safe to people. And we also will give you an option for a stair stepper, which will be a much bigger surface, and you can use that as well if you'd like to get one of those instead. These are just super convenient and handy, but they might not feel safe to everybody, so maybe the stair stepper version would feel better. Okay, so if we want to go down on this surface, I'll turn it maybe a little bit of a diagonal. I'm going to actually come up to the surface that I want to be on, and I'm going to be putting my foot at the furthest edge away from my rear end, because when I turn, I want to have plenty of surface area to put my bottom down on. And in this case, the forward foot is going to be closest to the surface. Okay? Same idea, folding, 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 folding. Then my hand goes down. This is big. Watch, this is what you want to do. Almost everybody wants to do this. My rear got further away from the surface. So this folding of the hip joints, the knees, the ankles. Then when I can't go any further, I put my hand down and I just turn my bottom into the surface. Way easier. Every time you raise the surface a few inches, it gets easier. We want to start with easy. What would be the right challenge for you? So it's always difficult to get people to just stay with what is the right challenge for them. But I showed the floor version for all of those of you who are addicted to seeing a little more action and you want to get to the root of the matter. You know, you want to be able to get up and down from the floor. But many people who are watching this will want to use an elevated surface. That elevated surface could be your bed to start out with, then it could be your sofa, then it could be a stool like this, and then maybe you'll be ready to try the floor or with a big solid pillow or a stack of blankets on the floor, and then eventually the floor. Okay? Now here I am on the stool. I want to be able to come up using the same ideas, so I'm going to walk or scoot my bottom so one half of my bottom is off the chair. Again, I'm in a step position so that one foot is behind a little bit, the other one's in front. On the floor, it was a really cross-legged position. Here, it won't be quite that cross-legged. I'm still going to lean on this hand beside me, probably just the heel of my hand unless I have a really big surface to play with. The other arm is out. I'm looking at it, I'm swinging it around, I land it, and then I spin again on my toes. Now you may feel like you need to pick up a foot and bring it around. Totally okay. Totally okay. It usually just depends on the size of our belly. Okay, to go back down, again, step position, sinking down, 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 put the hand down, turn the bottom, about a quarter of a turn is all. Coming up, scoot your bottom off the side. Look at the hand beside you. Swing it around, hand down, butt up. Head comes up last. Head comes up last. Good, good. Please put in the comments what your challenges are with this, or if you're successful with it, and keep watching this series. Be sure to subscribe so you can get all of it. Look down in the comments or in the description to get the PDF and links for things that you might need to do this efficiently. And I'll be back for more soon.